Buckle up and hold on. We are in for an epic, amazing adventure through the wild, wild west of Web3. I am Dr. Brook, your host, and I am joined by my co-pilot today, Fari, who is a Pakistani American wellness enthusiast, woman after my own heart, who moved from New Jersey to California just about maybe like a year ago, as of yesterday. She left her 9 to 5 job and became the co-founder of the San Diego NFT Con. And all within 1 month of arriving to California. And she has been deeply invested into the Web3 space since then. I do want to say this piece. She entered the NFT community as an artist, or she entered the NFT space as an artist, but stayed for the community. Welcome to the show, Fari. So great for you to be here.
GM Dr. Brooke, it's
Yeah.
fabulous to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I love it. GM stands for good morning for those of you who might not understand lingo in the Web3 space, but good morning to you too, dear. Uh, First question out the gate. What is your intro story? Like, how did you leave that 9 to 5 and get into the Web3 space? What led to that?
Well, to be honest with you, I've always followed a lot of finance channels. I am a Capricorn, so I love to talk about money.
Nice.
So, yeah, so I started hearing about, more about crypto. I started seeing these apes pop up everywhere from all the finance bros.
Yep.
And then around the same time, this was last summer, so summer of 21.
Mhm.
My 18-year-old brother reached out to me and told me like all of these profits he's been making on NFTs. And I'm like, no way, like I need to know more about this. And so he actually totally like held my hand through my first crypto purchase, my first NFT purchase.
Aww.
I definitely didn't do as much research as I should have because I lost like $1,500 on that NFT, but we don't have to talk about that.
Hey, sometimes the losses are great lessons for people. So we might talk about it. We might talk about it because this is what it's about. It's educating more people to come into the space with the proper knowledge and understanding. Because you and I have very similar intro stories where it's just kind of coming in on different price points, right? And yeah, you make mistakes along the way, but go on, continue.
Yeah, exactly. So, at the time I didn't know. At the time I was like, "Oh, this is a great investment. Like, this is
Yeah.
definitely going to turn into like 5 figures." I was
Yes.
so
Right.
confident,
Right.
but obviously it didn't. But you know what? That did cause me to like really start watching crypto and the
Hmm.
prices of
Hmm.
things, and then I was learning more and more about it. Right, so I probably spent like about 3 months just educating myself. There weren't many resources out there
Right.
besides YouTube and some articles.
Hmm.
Um, that's about it though.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
in that during that process, I moved to California in November of 21. I put in my 2 weeks for my 9 to 5 the same exact month
Wow.
because I was like, you know what, this is a really transitional moment for me, right? So
Yeah.
I might as well lean into it and
Yeah.
um, just let go of this thing that I don't feel is serving me either, right? Which is my nine
Right.
to five.
Right.
And then very shortly afterwards, I met the San Diego NFT Friends community. I went to Val's event because one
Yes.
day I had tweeted, is anybody from the NFT community IRL? Because my IRL friends have no idea what I'm talking about. And so actually, Valerie, the founder
Yeah.
of NFT Friends, she commented, as did Lauren Turton, who's my friend now. Um,
Oh,
and so, yeah, they both commented the link. I went to the first
okay.
meetup, and it was all happening around the same time as I was putting out my own NFT collection.
Right.
And so, yeah, I've just been so deep in it ever since.
It's like it sounds like such a surreal journey, right? You're just kind of like in the flow, like the flow of life just kind of happening and you're just like, "All right, I'm going to open up. I'm going to open up. I'm going to open up and like see where this takes me." And when you said to me before we hit record that you entered the space as an NFT artist, but you've stayed for the community, there is so much power in that. It's like what you said, IRL, for those of you who might hear that and go, what? In real life, meeting in real life. And, it is a place where a lot of people come into Web3, on maybe price points, or they think they're going to be the next crypto millionaire, and they meet their best friends here. They meet their best friends, and it's so impactful. How would you say, moving from New Jersey, completely like coming all the way across the United States to the opposite ends of the earth, so to speak, and not really, I don't know if you knew anybody when you arrived here, but it's just kind of like, okay, see, yeah, no. So
Nobody, not a
this
soul.
is, yeah. So this has been a place for you to develop really like deep friendships and connections with people through your journey into Web3.
Exactly. And you know what, Dr. Brooke? This was the first time I really put myself in that position
I
to put
love
myself
it.
out there and make friends, to go out of my way to do it, because I was
Yes.
born and raised in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Everybody I knew was like friends, family, people I grew up with, right? So I never
Yeah.
really had to go out of my way before, because it was always organic and natural.
Right.
Because I'm from there.
Right.
So
Right.
this time
It's
I was like,
easy.
okay, like I definitely need to like go out and make friends and like,
See,
find
yeah.
that here.
It's so beautiful. I'm just like, my heart feels like it's leaving my chest. I'm like, I just want to like, because the energy there about stepping out of your comfort zone and like moving into an uncharted territory, it's like coming to San Diego, being a brand new person here. That's what a lot of people feel like when they're coming into Web3 too. It's like it feels like a lot of uncharted territory. And there's a lot of avenues and a lot of areas where essentially we as pioneers are creating our own path. We're disrupting industries, and just your own personal story of leaving New Jersey coming to California is like so parallel with what happens in the Web3 world.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And what was so awesome about it was that I gained so many friends IRL, and I gained so many friends online who,
Yeah.
I speak with every day, and
Yeah.
they've come to become some of my closest um, and most trusting relationships ever, to the extent
Right.
where I even just, built a business with
Right.
two of my really close friends called Self Love Club. Uh,
I want you to talk about that because I do want to get into that. So tell us about Self Love Club and what you guys are doing.
Of course. So what we do is we are bringing wellness into Web3. And we're doing this by, not only hosting our Self Love Sunday Twitter Spaces, which you should totally
Yeah.
come be a guest on. We'd love to have
Yes. I'd love
you.
it. I'd love it.
Yes. But we also do IRL events, right? So we go to all of these crypto and NFT conferences and
Mhm.
host wellness activations there. Because, one of the first things I really noticed about this Web3 space was how burnt out everybody was.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
it's like, I'm sure you're familiar with the culture as well, where, we kind of like, we grind in the Discord, we hustle on these Twitter spaces, we watch all of these time things, track
Yes.
the gas. At least this is how it was a year ago when it was a
Yes.
bull market.
Yes.
But you know,
Totally.
and then
Yeah.
we find the opportunities to meet up IRL in a post-COVID world,
Right.
uh, where we get to do all of these fun things with new friends that we
Mhm.
haven't really met before, right? So it's super exciting. We don't want to miss a thing. Everyone's like quadruple booked, right?
Yeah.
After going
Yep.
traveling to, I don't know, let's say New York to go to a conference.
Yep.
Um, Everyone stays there for a week. Most people party like they're 21, even though everyone's a millennial. Like
Totally. That's so funny. You're nailing it on the head.
right.
Oh my God.
And then what happens? We come home back to reality. Everyone is
Mhm.
exhausted. All of a sudden, everyone needs a week off. Everyone has
Mhm.
COVID. Everyone,
Mhm.
needs to. Now it's
Mhm.
time to give attention to your family and your Web2
Yep.
job and
Right.
your real life. And what's happening? You're passed out for a week because that is unsustainable. That
Exactly.
lifestyle, the culture
Right.
is the hustle culture. It's just
Right.
completely like unrealistic, right? How are
Yeah.
we going to hold that, and why is that the standard?
Right.
Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why are we putting ourselves to do that? So me, with someone who, like, most of my friends are in Web3, right? Um, I got tired of seeing that pattern and seeing my friends that way. And me, as a founder of San Diego NFT Con, and
Mm-hmm.
also, I do other Web3 events here and there as
Mm-hmm.
well. I didn't want to see my community that way. I didn't want to see
Right.
myself that way either. Wasn't really bringing out the best in us. And so I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to help people just like breathe a little bit at these events? Because IRL aspect is like my favorite part of it. I don't know about
Yeah.
you.
I agree. It's my favorite too. It's like
Yeah,
family. You get around these people. It's just like a big family, like you said. Yeah.
exactly. We get to all
Yeah.
geek out together.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so I'm like, what can we do? Like, how do we instill a little bit of like normalcy into this
Hmm.
space? And so what we started doing was like going right to the source, going right to the conferences, and talking to them and saying, hey, we'd like to add in some wellness programming.
Hmm.
So we do some wellness panels. We actually did a Midwest Con conference where every single morning we actually started it with a meditation at 9 a.m. And
Love it.
people showed up,
Love
right?
it.
And we weren't
Yes.
surprised because we knew it was
Right.
needed,
Right.
right? But like
Right.
um, something we curate, which I can definitely direct you guys to my website too. There's a little bit more info there, but
Yeah, Fari, if you want to screen share. So for those of you who are watching, you can see it on the screen, but just for those who might just be listening on the podcast platforms, just kind of explain what we're looking at. Do you want to screen share?
honestly, not really.
Okay, okay, you don't have to. All right. So the website is selflovesundays.xyz,
Oh no,
correct?
it's selfloveclub.xyz. I could
Oh,
link it.
self love.
I could
Okay,
totally link it.
perfect, perfect, perfect. Self
But
love club. Yeah.
yeah, also yeah, they'll
Okay.
definitely know about it.
Okay.
But yeah, what we do is we build wellness lounges as
Hmm.
well. And so over there, that's where people can come to, listen to some binaural beats, get a massage, get some Reiki done by one of our in-house
Hmm.
practitioners,
Hmm.
and just like go and just breathe for a little bit, reground amidst all of the chaos that is the conference culture.
Hmm.
Like I'm always on and off stage. I know you are as well. You gave such a great opening talk at Web3SD.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you. Thank
it,
you.
it gets to be a lot sometimes though,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
just like being on and off,
Hmm.
facilitating, going to moderate, like all of these
Hmm.
things. And so a lot of people were utilizing the wellness lounge to just go and take a moment for themselves before their talks.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so it's just like we're pretty new. We went live in August of 22,
Okay.
uh, but we plan on having presence at every single one of the major conferences.
I love that. I think it's very much needed. When I work with my patients, I always tell my patients, it's not just the physical absence of pain that dictates whether you're healthy or not. Like, oh, I don't have pain in my body, so I'm healthy. Well, no, because true health like consists of four major pillars, which is physical, spiritual, emotional, mental. If you're clear in all four of those pillars, and you're like Fari was talking about with meditation, that really works on the spiritual and the emotional side. And it has a lot to do with the mental side, because if you can get grounded in your body, you start to like really work through things. Physical pain may move out of the equation. But the thing is like we do exist in Web3, in this culture where everybody's driving like, these narratives that you're going to be the next crypto millionaire. Just buy this NFT, buy this crypto coin, boom, 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 to the moon, like all these, terminologies and these FOMO hype kind of feelings. And the reality is, it's like, if that was you, if that happened to you and your investment did truly go to the moon based off, you and getting into a coin that someone told you about, or what you were shilled this token, what are you going to do with your multi-millions of dollars if you're so sick and distraught and cortisol stress hormones are through the roof, and you're just wasting those millions of dollars rather than creating a beautiful life for yourself? you're in and out of treatments. Your body has cancer, or you have chronic fatigue, or things are happening. So it is so vitally important, not just to be chasing the financial leg of the Web3 opportunities that are so available. It's not, I don't want to give off the wrong impression that it is, all those financial opportunities are just, you're going to buy a token and it's going to skyrocket. There's a lot of fundamentals that you have to be doing to make that kind of stuff happen. But the financial opportunities are there. We just have to learn how to take care of ourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And that is what you're doing through these wellness stations.
Exactly. It's so needed. And the most rewarding part of it all has been when people realize it in real time. Like, what are you doing here? What is this woo-woo hippie stuff?
I love it. I'm so woo-woo hippie. It's like my poor patients. They have to deal with it. I'm like, look, you want to get well, that's what's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah. And we do, keep our language in a way that it isn't too woo-woo, right? We don't want to scare people away. But, people are realizing like, wow, I really needed that. Right? Because people are also staying back from events now too and saying, oh, it's too much. I can't. I just can't this time. I need a break. And it's like, it shouldn't be that way, right? And essentially it's like, why do people go to these events, right? Why do we pack out all of these major cities, New York, Miami, LA?
Right.
It's essentially everyone's, everyone's looking for community, sure, but everyone is also looking for investors, and we're looking for people, to meet who can potentially change the course of our entire business. Right. But when you have the opportunities to meet them, those people are definitely there. And then which version of yourself are you presenting to them? Your hungover version? Your socially drained version of yourself, you're hungry because you haven't been taking care of your body, dehydrated. All of these things, you're frustrated. So it's like, I really took the idea of like just presenting your best self to to these people that you're meeting intentionally, right? And so that's just, it's all just built on that main idea of living intentionally.
Absolutely. It is so important. So you utilize also a technology called BrainTap. Tell us, I have one in the office that I hook patients up to pretty often, but I don't want to speak about it. I want you to talk about it.
Oh my God, I love BrainTap so much. They're one of our partners. Before we even did our first event as Self-Love Club, I actually called up my contact there, and he loved it so much. He was like, we want to be a part of everything you're a part of. And so they agreed to travel with us every single place that we go and have an event. And so they actually even came to Midwest Con with us.
Oh my God, fun.
Yeah, so we had them there. We had like 4 BrainTap chairs set up. But essentially when they have like all of these really cool technologies that help heal you from the inside out, and they have a PMF machine that like I really don't know like all the scientific terminologies. I just know that I feel like a new person after.
I'll give you a quick liner for people. So PEMF is pulsed electromagnetic frequency. We also have one of those at the office. And essentially, in short terms, it really helps send a lot of energy to like an area, like let's say you have like major joint pains or arthritic pain in the knees and things like that. I mean, you can use it in any area of the body. Some people can lay on mats that have PEMF frequencies to get stimulation, but it really helps decrease inflammation in the body. It helps like increase mitochondria production, which is the energy producing cell, like energy producers of the cells. And just overall, like really elevates your entire body, like the frequency in which you carry.
Exactly. Yes. Well said, Dr.
Thank you.
I actually discovered it for the first time when at San Diego NFT Con. Actually, they were there. And I was running the event, so I was like running around everywhere. And I had a friend come up to me on the second day. She grabbed me and she was like, hey, you need to try this guided meditation. I was like, no, girl, I do not have time. I have like a laundry list of to do. And she's like, no, trust me. I partied all night, but it feels like I just slept 10 hours and I spent like 12 minutes in that thing. I'm like, whatever. And then like she basically had to force me into that chair, and I was like, fine. I was all grumpy, like, oh, like I have so much to do, you know. I was stressed.
Of
Because there were
course,
like
I get it.
100 people there, you know.
I get
And so
it.
she's
Yeah.
yeah. And so I sat, and 12 minutes later, I felt like I had also rested for 10 hours when I hadn't
I
rested at
love it.
all.
Oh my
And
God.
you know, I got to start off the last day of the event in such a high vibration as a result of it. And
Mhm.
so I've
Mhm.
been converted, hooked since.
Right.
It's such an awesome experience. And now, you know, um, since BrainTap has a lot of locations all over the
Right.
country, it's really easy for
Right.
them to like hop onto any of our events that we do. So really
Absolutely.
grateful for them.
And the one thing about BrainTap that I will say is so you have the machinery, like, or the headset, so to speak. You're wearing, when you're using a BrainTap, if you've never done it, it kind of comes over your head like headphones, and then you pull this visor over your eyes, and you have lights going into the eyes while your eyelids are closed, so they're not going directly in the eyes, and then you have different sounds coming through, so it's really doing a lot of stimulating of the brain. But not only that, is they have an app where you actually can like click on what it is that you want to work on. So if you're feeling like you're struggling with weight loss, you can click on weight loss, you can click on de-stressing, you can click on improved like athletic performance, all of these things to help rewire the brain to help you operate more in that parasympathetic state, that rest and digest, that what meditation, what Fari was talking about when she said, I felt like I rested for 12 hours, even though she was chaotically running around like a chicken with her head cut off at the event, because her body was operating from a parasympathetic state, that rest and digest, which allowed her prefrontal cortex, not to get all crazy neurology right now, but I think it's important. Your prefrontal cortex, the reasoning part of your brain that allows you to make good decisions, shuts off in a state of high stress. So when you're highly stressed, you can't make good decisions. So you wonder why you made decisions the way you did. It's because your brain wasn't functioning. Well, this brain tap helps get that brain back into that resting state to where things are connecting and decisions are clear. And so super, super powerful. I think that it's, and like at SD NFT Con, I saw them there and I was like, this is awesome that they have them here. So awesome. Like, it's cool looking at art. It's cool, like connecting with different artists. It's amazing. But then also to have the neurology and the brain power to do all that, even better.
I know, it's super cool. I'm
Yeah.
just like, they're living in the future. Every time I
I,
talk to somebody
yeah.
from BrainTap's team,
Yeah.
like it ends up being a conversation over an hour long because I just
Yes.
love what they think.
Yes. Yes, they are. And they're a perfect partner, for what you're doing and where the Web3 space is going, is because we're in the future. Like, we're in the future. And if you're listening to this episode, like I say this often, it still rings true today whenever you're hearing this, is that we're still really early on, and we're not fully like there yet. And brain tap is like not fully there yet, but they're moving into the future with us, and that's the beautiful thing. So yeah.
Exactly. We should get some BrainTap NFTs made or something.
Definitely. Well, Fari, so like tell me about this artist part of you and your NFT collection, and yeah, tell us all about that.
Yes, I'd love to. So, it's funny, I don't talk about my own collection that much. I'm always
I
talking about
know.
other
That's why I
things
put
that
you on the spot. I was like, this girl like putting all this other stuff. Like, no, no, no. We're talking about you right now.
Right. I mean, honestly, I've been a creative my entire life. I
Mm-hmm.
just remember, like, you know, I grew up with two older sisters, and they always had these huge, like, Barbie dream houses, right? And they
Yeah.
were constantly inside playing with them. But me, I wouldn't be caught dead with the Barbie. I was like, I had this big red easel and
Yeah.
canvas that was like bigger than me. I was like 3 years old, and I used to
Oh.
just be painting in the sunroom, like just the entire day. I used to be painting and playing in the mud, like
Yeah.
on repeat. That was my life, and honestly, not much has changed. Um,
I
I
love
love
it.
being inside. I love being.
You're a girl who is not afraid of getting dirty, and that's totally me. It's like, hey, we can play in some dirt every now and again, you know?
Yeah, listen, I like to camp. I like to camp.
Exactly.
Glamping is
Yeah.
fun too, but like I can totally get, in an
Yeah.
actual tent and like,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
the whole nine. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I've like kind of always been painting, and then like, as I got older, like I would do it here and there, and I started to lose touch with it until like, probably COVID, where like there
Okay.
was, I was like, I need to take up an activity. Like I'm working from home. Um, and it's getting to be a lot, right? So I
Mhm.
started to
Mhm.
use painting as a form of stress relief. And now
Mhm.
my entire apartment is like covered with mine and my loved ones' art. I started doing like these like paint and sips and paint and smokes at my
Yeah. Yeah.
apartment in Jersey, and like friends would come over and sit like 6 feet
Yeah.
away, and like we
Yep.
would just paint, and it was
Oh.
super cool. But also, not only that, I've been a makeup artist since I was 17. And
What?
so I didn't realize, and I remember, like, I didn't
What?
realize at the time that like I was expressing my creativity in that way, right?
Yeah.
I was like, this is a
Yes.
job,
Right. Right.
Meanwhile, I'm like putting 5 colors on someone's lid,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, I'm actually, I'm proud to say I'm like tapping back into that now that I'm here.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Okay.
so yeah, I'm like,
I'll be reaching out next time I get headshots and stuff done, now that I know that. See? I'm drawing this stuff out of you, woman.
yes, please do. I'm so glad
Yeah.
you are, right? Like, have to start building a client base here in San Diego.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, when but I kind of stopped doing makeup gradually once I got a corporate job and like
Okay.
started living that lifestyle where I was like, commuting to Manhattan every
Mhm.
day and like, spending basically the whole day, the whole night there, coming back, and like it was just, like that 5 days a week. And then I would, like, on the weekends, I would like try to squeeze in everything else. And like, it just, was a cycle that was also unsustainable, but I didn't realize it
Yeah.
until we were in the pandemic at home, with
Mhm.
nothing to do but like face ourselves basically, right? So
Mhm.
that's kind of more
Mhm.
when I got into wellness as well
Mhm.
as my art. Got to tap into
Mhm.
both of those things, which have been incredibly healing for me.
I love it.
Um, but yes, I mean, like I I started to dabble with digital art actually for the first time when I discovered NFTs.
Okay.
And you know, um, I like I got gifted an iPad, and
Yeah.
I was like, okay, perfect. First thing I did, Procreate, and then I just
Right.
started, creating,
Yeah.
and I dropped like 31 of ones on Solana, on SoulSea, um,
Yes.
last January,
Okay.
and I was like, it was just, I'm just proud of it because of like just the process that it took, right? Like
Mhm.
what it
Mhm.
symbolized for me at the time when I
Mhm.
was creating it. It was like, I was in a completely new place with a fresh start in so many ways,
Yeah.
right? And like
Yeah.
it was like more of a gift to myself than anything, was like putting out this collection. I honestly didn't get to show it that much because, like I said, I became the founder of San Diego NFT Convention. My
Mhm.
whole life
Mhm.
just became that. Like I was breathing it,
Mhm.
sleeping it, bleeding it, like
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
And
my
then,
gosh.
yeah. So,
That
um,
yeah, so is the collection still on Solana right now? Like, people can go check out the pieces and look at the collection, maybe buy an NFT, buy your NFT?
yeah, yeah, of
Yeah?
course, they're actually really low right now, which is hilarious. I don't know how much Solana is right now. I have to
I
check.
think well, it was, like, under 15 or a little over 15 last I looked myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hold
so
on.
It's good.
Solana 45. Wait, no, 13. What am I saying?
13. Okay.
$13 right now.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because like back when I put up my art, Solana was at like 240.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
so I sold a couple pieces, and I was super proud of myself. I was like, wow, this is great, but I never like liquidated it. So now
Yeah.
it's like worth a couple $100. But it's okay. We learn, right? We learn.
It's okay. It's totally okay because actually, well, none of these podcast episodes, I do want to say, are financial advice. This is just my viewpoint and what other people are doing that I've talked to. This is not, I'm not telling you to purchase, to buy, to do anything with Solana. But one of the, I mean, Solana is a really good, in my opinion, a good blockchain, and they have a really strong ecosystem. And a lot of people who are building on Solana obviously might have a little more bias to Solana because they're building on it, but they do see Solana kind of being the one that recovers the most after this next or during this next bull run. So you might not really be in a bad situation hanging on to it, even though it's, fallen a little bit off the cliff.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm holding
Yeah.
on for dear life regardless.
There you go. She's hodling. She's hodling. Me too.
Hodling.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, but yeah, totally. People can totally go check out my art. I can send over a link to you as well.
Yes.
We can pop it in the description.
Yep.
Um,
Absolutely.
where it's just it's a really vulnerable collection, right? It was the first time I like put my art up for sale
Yeah.
ever, even though I've been creating my whole life. So I battled like a lot of imposter syndrome throughout.
Oh.
But like, it just symbolizes healing and growth and
Yes.
transitional moments in life, leaning into change, all of that. It's called Soul Flowers. Um,
SOL flowers. Did you get
yeah.
the spin? I love it.
Yeah.
I
And
love
then
it.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I found out later that there's like a big collection, like a big generative collection that's also called the same thing on Solana. I was like,
Oh.
oops, I did not know that.
Yeah.
But it's okay because mine are really distinctive. They're like
Yeah.
3101s. Like you can't mistake the
Right.
two.
Right.
But yes, it's like really really something that I'm proud of, even though like I didn't make that many sales.
Hey, but you know what? Like, there's a lot to be said about a person that exits their comfort zone and puts them out, like, or puts themselves out into an unknown world. And I see that and I can feel your heart and I can feel your energy. And I just want you to know that, like, I can see that. And I know that there's a lot of listeners, especially a lot of my patient base listens to this podcast. And because of the work that I do, it is physical, but it is also energetic. And so you can feel energy, you can feel people's energy. And so for you, not only to take a leap of faith on yourself, moving across the country, knowing nobody, meeting friends, putting yourself in new situations, creating a project, putting your heart and soul into it. And there is a lot of vulnerability putting yourself out there. But the beautiful thing is like you are inspiring other people to take action on their own fears. Like you're telling them it's okay, whatever, like I've made it, like not necessarily made it to an end point because it's all a journey that we go on, but like you're like I didn't like I didn't break a bone, or I didn't scrape my knee. I made it to California in one piece, and it's been a beautiful journey. And I'm sure it's been, riddled with some, difficulties as any day can hold. But you're here and you're doing amazing, incredible things. And I want you to know I see you.
Well, I appreciate you so much. That is so
Oh,
kind.
yeah, of course. So, well, Fari, like because we're getting ready to wrap up this ride, is there anything that you would like to say that I may have not asked you? Or I know I want you also to share where people could connect with you, but like anything additional beyond just that.
Yes, most definitely. I just want to, in light of, onboarding people into Web3, I just really want to encourage people to seek out their in real life community, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes we may think that like we're too cool to make new friends or like too old to,
Yeah.
right? But,
Yeah.
we are constantly, growing and changing and discovering new things, and you never know which like-minded folks that you'll run into, right? Who can
Mhm.
potentially change your life.
That's
You know,
true.
just by having great conversations or like
Right.
spending really great quality time together, right?
Mhm.
My life was entirely changed after I met the San Diego NFT Con community. I actually met the founder of the okay, I met San Diego NFT Friends. I don't know if that's what I
Yes,
said.
yes, yes, yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but that's where I met the San Diego NFT Con team. Was my first
Mhm.
meetup ever, and then that
Mhm.
became my career. Like that jump started
Mhm.
my career in Web3,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a really big deal. And like everybody I meet till this day from that group, I tell them, I'm like, yeah, you know how I got that role? Because I went to a meetup one time and I saw this
Right.
guy there. He was like damn near 7 feet tall. And I just went to go say hi, introduce myself to him, and asked
Yeah.
me if he wanted to be on a panel, if I
Yeah.
wanted to be on a panel. And I had agreed to. And then, like, as I was hearing more about the convention, I just started saying to him, like, I started calling him up, like, hey, maybe we should take this out or like, and like add this in. And like, I constantly had all these suggestions and like,
Yeah.
I had all these strategies to like,
Mhm.
help make it really great because I do have some event experience as well.
Yeah.
And then like one time he called me and he was like, hey, Fari, you seem really passionate about this event. Would you like to come on board? And I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, girl. That's so
And so
awesome.
I just want to encourage people to go and put themselves out there. I understand I'm an introvert too, but like when you
Mhm.
go into things intentionally, you may really surprise yourself.
Absolutely.
And with that, like definitely prioritize your mental health, wellness,
Yes.
always lead with love.
I I love it. Yay. Awesome. That was such a great way to wrap everything up that we spoke about today. And I'm just so excited to have you and be able to have this conversation with you. And I'm sure those listening will feel the same as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I will make sure to put all your links and everything we discussed in the show notes so it's easy for people to access. And for those of you on this ride with us and on this journey as we pull this train into the station, thank you so much for being here. Be sure to exit to your right, and we will see you on the next one. You made it. Congratulations. That wasn't so bad, was it? I hope you laughed and learned a little bit more about this Web3 universe and how simple and fun it can really be. Would you be so kind as to leave us a review and share it with your friends and family? It would mean so much to get this out to more people as we embark on the greatest transfer of wealth that has ever happened in human history. Can't wait to see you on the next one.